how does A&R and how does it work on an industry perspective, and then how do you view it?
Yeah, I think a lot of times in big like major labels, any big company, there's a lot of short-term thinking because the boss, the CEO, generally, does, especially in the music business, doesn't own the company. They report to a board, or they report to another major company that then reports to a board, and they have pressure. They have quarterly P&L pressure, so they have to like go in front of a board and say, this is how much money we made this quarter, and if it's not good every single quarter, then it's bad. And if there's like a string of like bad quarters, then you get fired. So like, and every CEO of every company, you know, is not there for that long. They're there for 2 or 3 years. So like everything is very short term. So, and that filters down to the A&R, you know. So everyone's like looking for, you know, if you told any CEO of any company, I've got the next Adele for you, but it won't become Adele for another 25 years, they won't sign it because they're not going to be there in 25 years, you know. Like so I try and, you know, the difference between that and what I do is that I own everything, you know. I'm going to be here in 25 years, like I'm, you know. So it's not about quick wins for me. It's about like the long haul, and I want to be doing this in 25 years. Like that's like a real. I want to have the option of like coming to work and being excited about things and like building something. So like, you know, I think that's probably the most important thing about owning is that like you have a long-term view, and then you can do a lot more things if you can have a long. You can really attack, you know, and solve interesting problems when you have a long-term view. So that's the difference, I'd say.
It's just, if you look at just keeping your assets, when you look at then the whole thing with the P&L, and having to report to external shareholders who don't naturally have the music at the interest of the artist as well, was there any point during your time when you was intern or even just in the industry where you were a bit jaded by it all?
Nah, when I was interning, no way. I wasn't even understanding that. I didn't really get that from my internship. I was more understanding like the local politics of like why this A&R has a job and why this A&R gets paid twice as much as that A&R, and like how does that even happen? Like it was a lot more. It wasn't as big as like, you know, board meetings and stuff. I never never let me into a board meeting. But yeah, so you know, it was more about like the fundamentals. And that what I was interested in was like, how do people get signed? How do hit songs become hit songs? Like, what is it about that song as opposed, you know, everyone hears songs that are amazing that don't go nowhere, or artists that are amazing that don't go nowhere, and then like you'll see like someone, you'll be like, that person's alright, but like, how are they like the biggest singer in the world? Like, you know, and it's because of what happens behind the scenes. Like, it's like, you know, talent, like singing well is like one part of it. Like that's a small part, or rapping well is like one part of it. The rest of it is like your hustle and like how you get people to work for you and how you get people excited, and like that is a whole different game that you don't see from the outside. You only see that when you go inside, you know. So that was a super important learning curve.